motion to the minutes? Are you still reading?
No, the way we're gonna do this, man. Jane's gonna make a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Then we have to second it properly. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Student organizations and fundraisers, Mr. Dupont.
Okay, so I have two things. One is Precision Ag would like to sell donuts for their FFA group, so they would like to do that in the end of November. Actually, I think she wants to start tomorrow if we approve it. Again,
You gotta get them on time.
what's that?
You're gonna-
I don't know if I'm buying any this time. So she would just ask if we would approve that on behalf of the FFA group.
That's it?
That's one.
Okay.
Second one, this is separate. So she filled it out as a fundraiser, but Floyd and I talked, I don't think it's really a fundraiser. Graphic design, we have Melissa Denny as the new instructor in graphic design. She has her own business, and she is willing to work with the kids through her business to create, so they're gonna take our logo and the Heartland stuff and create all kinds of different apparel for kids. So hats, shirts, things like that, but with a creative twist, because she thinks her kids will be able to sell it to other kids. In doing so, she would like to take all the proceeds from that and put it right back into the class. So it is a fundraiser, but it's not really according to the fundraising thing. It's more like I would call it like an entrepreneurial thing, a class business.
It's a school enterprise.
School enterprise, there you go. So I more want to just make you aware she's doing that, in case, we were to get audited and they say, oh, you can't do that. We're aware that they're doing kind of a storefront type thing where kids can do it. If not, she's limited to 30 days to be able to sell. This allows her, anytime the kid orders it, they can make the product, they can sell it as an entrepreneurial.
And it's gonna be an online store,
Okay.
so that way if you guys want to buy something good, they'll probably, so.
But also the kids are gonna manage that, they're gonna
Yep.
operate that too, so that's gonna be a good.
It's a school-based enterprise is what it is, and it's kind of works towards our work-based learning.
She put on here too that there's no overhead necessary, since only the ordered products will be produced, so they would buy the ordered products, they would produce the product and then sell those. And that helps her students learn how to do the business, the marketing side of it, as well as creating apparel merchandise, how to price it, all those kind of things. And then proceeds, any kind of proceeds would go back in. So I would ask to approve both of those things, but go ahead.
As a point of order, should these be addressed separately?
We can do that. Let's do the fundraiser.
Fundraiser for Precision Ag,
Ag.
donuts.
Yep, I would move to approve.
I second the motion.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Now for the,
This is for graphic design layout.
Okay.
And that would just be the class, business, the class store, on enterprise.
enterprise.
Yeah.
Sounds like a car company.
But I think as students do this, they would also get, would they get internship hours?
Yeah, they would get work-based learning hours,
Okay.
and with the new diplomas, it's gonna be big, so it'll be good for them to get those hours.
Can I give you my $20 this evening for a t-shirt?
Let's get it up and running.
But I
I'd
would
be
say
a
that
donation
she
like
gets it-
Pete's Donuts.
Yeah.
I would say if she gets it up and running, next meeting, I'll let
Yeah.
her, we get the website.
I think it's,
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be up on our website, is what our plan
Awesome.
is. So,
I think it's a pretty neat idea, so the kids are excited.
Good.
So I think, does that need a motion to?
I would do it just in case.
You want to make a motion to approve?
I second the motion.
Those, the moved and seconded, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Unfinished business? Doesn't look like any. Miscellaneous.
So Count Day was back in October, you guys kind of had those numbers back then, as a reminder, it was 570 students. But we say it's finally complete because we had a month to finalize things, and then we had to go back to our superintendent to get signatures. They have that Form 30A on file at them, they have a copy of it. We had to upload it to the state, so they would have it. They have it electronically, but we had to get the signatures and things like that. And so, I have a copy of that, I can share your schools with you if you want. But that's gonna be, that Form 30A is the CTE funding for every class.
38, Form
Form 30A, yep, 30.
30A.
That's the CTE funding for your school in a whole. So the students you sit at the Heartland, but also the classes that you offer back at your school.
And you filed that.
And we file that, yep. So we collect all that information and data and input it into INTERS, which is the state program. There's usually all kinds of errors in the beginning. So it's not fun, like it's a big deal.
Who does that?
Sherry Truss,
Okay,
And thank her when you see her.
yes,
Okay. Good.
she does that and it's a bear.
Yeah.
And if you don't have some, I told her when she retires, whenever that is, I said, you're gonna get hired back for a month to do the Form 30 again, because there's really no one else that knows how to do it. I've learned alongside her a little bit, but there's about that much. And then it's well above what I know right now. So
Do you have those breakdowns?
I do, I can, I can pull one real quick, maybe.
Our board's really interested. I mean, I have to give a little report every time, and if I said, well, there's nothing, I have nothing to report this evening, they get upset with me, so.
No, those, that'd be good. And honestly, what Floyd's saying, I know, again, Sherry worked on that Form 30 for probably 3 weeks to try to get it hammered through. Because if there's an error in how it's submitted, and if they had them in the wrong class, I knew she talked to guidance counselors last Friday because, and it's not all the guidance counselors. I mean, they're getting kids coming in and we don't know where they've had classes before, if they're transferred in. So those things all have to show up. And
Sure.
you can't take credit for a kid twice, so you can't get funding in the same class twice. So those are kind of errors that she gets, and she's got to work through your guidance counselors, and your guidance counselors, and your guidance counselors to get all this hammered out.
Can we buy her some donuts with
We gave her some, but she didn't want them. I don't understand.
Get her some five.
apparel maybe?
There you go.
So here's the breakdown. So Manchester Community Schools' overall CTE funding was $399,292. Okay.
90,292.
Yes, now, that being said, the only part of that is the career centers is 180,660. Okay. So those are the
Can you
kids.
explain that to me?
Yeah, so there's two numbers. One is the overall number for Manchester Community Schools, which is at 399. The other number is only the students that are here at Heartland Career Center.
And then when he comes,
And that money comes here to help pay for the share.
and how much was that?
That was 180,660.
660. So our system retained the difference between those two numbers.
Correct.
Why?
Because those are programs that you're teaching at your school.
Okay,
Like BOAC,
I get it.
active classes and stuff like that.
Yep.
Right.
Your ag classes, your engineering classes, there could be health science, biology. MSD's overall number was 636,390. That's all of the CTE at your school, including ours. Yours just at Heartland was 365,345. Let's see here. North Miami's was $200,076. And the amount for Heartland Career Center is $148,589.
And you guys do all the bookwork for all of that, correct?
Yeah, so it's in your guys' SIS, which would be Power School or Skyward, or I think North Miami uses Alma. But they have to collect that data, we send it to us into a form, then Sherry has to go through that form and make sure it's correct, and then try to upload it. If she gets errors, then it's, okay, we gotta go back through this and figure out what the issue is. So, pre-community schools was 484,692. That was their overall, and then for here was 219,252. And then Wabash City Schools, overall, 513,762. And for here, it's 315,960.
Could you let us know how many students for each? Do you have that?
Yeah.
General?
Yep.
You want to break it down?
Now, well,
I'm I mean, per school system.
I can do per school, and I can probably give you a breakdown of hours as well, but
Just.
it's gonna be a little
students
separated.
per student.
I'm trying to make sure I got it right, sorry. This form is a little weird, it's much work goes into it. I have 83, for, at Heartland, it's 83 students for Manchester. My file being weird, sorry, I'm trying to click on it, it's not letting me. Yeah. MSD's number 161. North Miami, 65. Peru is 100. Water City Schools is 140. Any other questions? Want to go over the CLNA? Yep. We're still working on the CLNA. I am setting up a meeting in December for our stakeholder meeting, which is going to include people from the school, members, some community members as well, and kind of talk about, what they feel like the needs are and what we're doing, what we can add, what we can change, and so forth towards that previous funding. And so I'm waiting on a response from our person who helps with the CLNA to finalize that date. CDL update, we had a CDL parent meeting, a week ago. And we had quite a few people here. We had, was it 32 or 30?
Was it, there were 23 kids,
Oh, 23 kids.
but the room was packed.
This whole room was packed.
Everybody but parents, both sets.
And so 23 kids, there was it 32 or 34 that signed up originally?
33 signed up.
33, okay. And so 23 came to the parent meeting. We try to make that parent meeting mandatory. And there's a lot of information there. Those kids also had a meeting prior to that with Mr. Dupont. We'll give the information.
So 33 signed up?
33 signed up originally, and
Okay.
I met with those 33. And then they were all invited to a parent meeting to bring the parents if they were seriously considering it. That 33 went down to 23. So those 23 kids came. And again, they didn't have to come to that meeting, but we kind of put a pretty heavy weight if they do. So that we have a rubric that we set up that measures like attendance, GPA, their grade point, their grades here. There's a whole bunch of different things that we placed in there. One of those is they have an active driver license. One is did they come to the original meeting? Did they come to the parent meeting? So it all has its points, and then it figures out like who's the top students for that. So we'll narrow down from there from 23 down to about 12.
Just 12?
12 kids.
Were the 11 disappointed?
We haven't told anybody yet. We haven't finalized the rubric.
Oh,
That'll
11 that
be-
didn't come? You mean? Or
Oh,
the ones?
no.
No, they don't know yet. 'Cause
No one knows yet.
I got it all in the rubric. We just put up grades out on Friday, and I wasn't here really to do anything with it. So this next week, I'll sit down, I'll put their grade point average in, then it'll spit out a number. Then we'll approach the schools. We want them to be able to kind of, I'll kind of tell them, hey, here's where your kids rank based on the rubric. And if they say, we'd really like number 2 to be number 1, based on their performance here, then kind of give them that option to do that. They all get 1. And then the others go into the pool. Yeah, every school corporation, or every school gets 1 student. And then the second set of 6 kids is out of that pool.
So
There'll
we
be
not
some kids-
accept all?
It's $5,000 a kid. We have enough money to help with 12.
Because they have about $1,000 in it.
And so we have,
Well,
we have had in the past had people who have paid to take that on. We do have a couple of businesses who might be interested in covering some costs as long as that kid would sign on to be an employer after they graduate. And in the long run, I think that's where we're gonna end up, because they're gonna need those people with CDLs. And for them to get them, hey, we'll cover your cost, you come work for us for 2 years, you don't have to pay anything. If you
Well,
leave before that, you may have to pay more than that.
what was the, and I don't know the Perkins number, but Josh asked when we had our state board meeting in CLNA, was it 62,000 that we put into it?
Or,
Or how much is our Perkins funding that we put into?
oh yeah, it's, yeah.
So it's like 3/4 of our Perkins funding.
Well, it's about, just over 50%,
Okay,
so.
so we're trying to navigate and we're doing a lot of we've made phone calls to the 62 kids or something like that, have gone through CDL, find out how many are truly using it. Because, it's a big expense. And if they're just getting it to get it, and they're not using it, is that really where we need to spend money? So that question is being asked as well.
Well, and that's a good idea to take a look.
And we had an idea when we were doing it probably a little more focused now.
The other piece to that is we rely on a company to provide the trucks and the driver and the trainers. And they told us they could do 1 truck in the morning, 2 trucks in the afternoon. That limits us to 12. Now, if they were willing to bring other trainers in and do more, we could look at more and offer a per pay kind of thing. But that's really up to the guy from Colorado, the owner of CTS, Jim Patterson.
And if we brought 4 more people in and had 16 and we were able to cover their costs somehow, he would do it.
Yeah.
He would find a way to bring another instructor and bring another truck and get done. My first year here, we had 16.
Yeah.
Last year, we had 12. This year, we're looking at 12 too. So.
Well, think of the employers in the county that, have trucks.
But I would also tell you, of the 23, I'm not sure I put all 23 in.
No.
I'm gonna kind of let the process take care of itself. Because there'll be some kids that won't have the money. There'll be some kids that, like, we've got a couple kids that are on that 23 list. I've got kids that's missed 10 or 12 days at school. He shouldn't even be on the list.
Right.
But he put himself on the list and he represents the school. And so we'll let him be on the list, but the reality is he shouldn't be in there. Like to me, that's a waste of money if the student's not gonna follow through. So we'll let that list kind of narrow down. But if there were 5 or 6 kids that really we could add on to that list, that would be kind of cool to do that for kids. But it help them.
Well, I'm just thinking maybe there would be some sponsors in the county, in the various systems. that would be
I think
interested in
there-
doing something just like that.
I think there is.
There is,
The issue is the driving, meaning the federal law is you have to be 21 to go state lines. And so these kids are 18, they can drive anywhere in the state of Indiana, but they can't cross state lines. And so some trucking companies have a difficult time doing that.
And the other side of it is, a lot of these kids are getting them, but they may, like, I knew 2 or 3 of the kids that got it last year, at least 2 of them are in that, right now, so
Yep.
they're not driving every day. I got one I talked to on feedback, and he's in Manchester, he's also up at IBFW taking classes, so he's working 2 days a week at Republic, which is phenomenal, but he's also taking classes, so that's the thing, some of these kids have got them, and then there's other kids that got them, and they're not using them, they just have them.
Yeah, but you don't know 10 years or 15 years
You're right.
out.
Right.
You're
So,
right.
and that's why it would be nice to kind of track this. I don't suggest you do a formal study, but
Well, and
We're
that's the
reaching out.
information we're getting.
yeah,
We're reaching out now to all the past students that are in
Yep.
CDL, kind of see what.
what are you doing and what are your plans?
Yep.
I have a list of questions to ask them
Yeah.
of, do you still have your CDL? Are you using your CDL in work related right now? If not, is there a reason for that? Did you not renew your CDL and why? And so we do have questions that we've been going through and asking.
Cool.
those students. But that's where we are on the CDL.
And that'll start in March. Those kids will
Yep.
start in
And those kids will know probably the first week in December if they're,
December 8th.
we will talk to the kids that are the first choices, let them know, and we'll have to have a commitment by,
They commit by December 1.
yeah,
And then December 8th, we'll tell them, so they turn in a commitment before December 1. December 8th, we'll tell them who got in. February 1st, the money's due. And that's another deadline. If kids don't get that money, then we move to the next person down the list. So
So their part would be about $1,000?
Yeah, they have $700 towards the CDL, and then they pay for a physical, drug screen license and permit. So it's roughly $300. Yep. Another miscellaneous thing, Jay brought this up to me, so I'm just gonna let everybody know about it. We did have an incident in Diesel, was it last week?
Yes.
We had,
It was the night of our CDL meeting.
okay, oh, that's true, I forgot. In Diesel, where the tables are set, they're kind of set up like this, a little tighter than this, and on the other side is the garage area where they have the tables. There was a truck about 5 feet behind that table. They were gonna move it. 2 kids were sitting kind of where Mr. Orr is and where Mr. Beatties is. The kid started it, it's a manual. His foot either went off the clutch, or he thought he didn't have it in gear, he thought it was in neutral, whatever it did, it popped forward, and it came up and bumped the kids. The original finding of it, it wasn't that big of a deal, it was kind of bumped it and moved it a little bit. After further investigation and conversations with a couple of parents, it turned out that table moved anywhere between 4 and 6 feet. And so the kid was literally between the table, one ended up on the side of the truck, the other one got pinned up between the table and pushed forward. No one was injured. I went down and talked to them all, right after it happened, and everybody was fine. They're good. The kid that was in the truck was pretty beat up on himself because it happened. He felt terrible and understandable. And everything was fine. We made phone calls to parents. But then after the fact, we found out it was more than just a foot. It was, 4 to 6 feet or 6 to 8 feet, whatever it was. And so we did some more investigating, talked to kids more, got more information, and then recontacted parents. One of the students complained of kind of hurting a little bit. So they went to the doctor, but I think everything's fine. Everything turned out okay. No one was injured. A situation where we got to learn. And talking to the instructors, like, hey, when we're gonna do this, you probably shouldn't have anybody sitting there. Because things like this could happen, and it could be a lot worse than what it was. And we got pretty fortunate to what happened. So there was an accident report written up on it. But that happened last Wednesday during our diesel program. So,
The whole principals have been informed, because I didn't tell Julie that she was.
Yeah. North Miami kids, Southwood kid.
Manchester kid was the one that.
Not driving the truck. Was he driving the truck, the Manchester?
It was a regular truck. I mean, it wasn't a semi. So
Yeah.
that's
And honestly, the kid was driving, had pulled that truck in and out at least 5 times.
That's why they
He
call it.
wasn't Manchester fit. And he also, to that kid's credit, he came in here on the day he didn't have to be in here.
Yeah.
He was in here because he
Yeah.
wanted to be in here and wanted to, so he was coming in to do extra credit. So, and like, working on his truck.
Now, are there OSHA reporting requirements for something like this? So you file?
We write up an actual report, we send it to our insurance company just in case something.
And any reporting to police?
No,
None? And no parents were?
we notified all the parents,
Yeah.
all the parents were notified.
They were all contacted.
So, and then some were contacted multiple times since we found out.
And I actually, then again, probably we thought to the front, like contacted this parent after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Said, is he okay? Yes, everything's okay. And I've still contacted with the kids on a daily basis to make sure they're okay. Yeah.
And they've all been back, no issues with this, that we're aware of at this point. And we let them know that if something comes up, let us know. We don't want this to linger out if something does come up and not tell us, so. Anyway, that's where we are.
New business, financial.
I have one more question.
Go for it.
The construction classes, the
Yes.
EC, how does that go?
I think it's going pretty well. Those kids are going in and out from, in the classroom, they do some things in here, and then they head out to the cold storage out in our cold barn. They're able to use the other side a little bit too, but they really use the cold storage side. And so they're getting part of that being in the elements as well, that our other kids in construction are doing. But I think it's going well. We've had good reports from the instructor. We haven't really had any issues in here of late, and so.
No. And I'll be honest, some of these kids, and Pete can attest to this, are challenged young men and young ladies. I mean, they were not always the perfect person for a program, but I think Cameron Campbell has done a great job with the class. He's got 22 kids in there now, and I've been out there numerous times. I think the young people are learning good skill sets. They've done a little foundation work, so they've laid block. They've done framing work. I mean, they've done some things that our kids on construction haven't done.
Yeah.
Our kids don't do any concrete work. Those kids have done concrete work and block lay and things like that. So there's some good skills that they're picking up, and I know they're gonna start integrating electrical and different things like that. He's teaching a lot of math to them right over there right now, so I'm really pleased with what I've seen. I think he's done a pretty good job managing it. Yeah, we've had some hiccups here along the way, but kids are kids are kids.
So someone that gets a certificate, they receive a certificate for proficiency?
There's
Yeah.
several different certificates they can earn.
They actually have more potential to earn certificates and dual credits than the kids in like Mr. Hoover's construction class. Those students in 2 years' time, if everything comes to fruition, have the ability to get 24 dual credits through Ben Simmons. They have OSHA 10,
OSHA 30.
OSHA 30 in 2 years.
And CCR.
And CCR certifications, and
1 and
that's
2.
multiples.
Yeah.
Which is a national construction certification.
That's a graduation certification. And then they will have electrical and plumbing certification too, I think.
Well, the electrical and plumbing, so let me ask, can they become, they then, after receiving this 2-year certification, can they be enrolled in a journeyman?
This
Directly?
is a step into that. This is a pre-apprenticeship program.
So then they would go to ABC for an apprenticeship program, and my understanding is they'll have 2 years of it basically done through us, and they continue on through ABC to finish that apprenticeship for another 2 years, and then they can go on and do more.
They'll have the journeyman's after the 2 years after they leave here.
Well, there's some people in my meeting that their ears
Oh, yeah.
perked up.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that might work in terms of employment in the county after this.
And that's the other thing is, we're talking to them, they will set them up through their apprenticeship, through ABC and their apprenticeship with companies.
ABC.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the biggest key, are your company's ABC affiliated. Because that's gonna be the piece that they want. And I know that's what they deal a lot with. But he told me the other day, they had a couple that transitioned from the IKRTC to the ABC process.
This is a brochure that they gave me. They sent it to me, and I just printed them off so kids could have them.
Yeah, that would be helpful. Yeah.
And it just tells you a little bit about what they do. I know like in ours, we do OSHA 10 and we do NCCER, but we're out building a house. These kids are gonna walk away with, they won't have the actual building in the home, but they're gonna walk away with a lot of skill and a lot of certifications that will get them to a next level, which is a really neat thing for them, so.
Well, I heard on one radio program, I don't know which one it was, but in Indiana in 2026, we're going to be about 1,000 construction workers short in the state of Indiana.
We have issues with finding electricians here to help.
Electrician, yeah.
Plumbing and HVAC is what I mean, that's, they're gonna be exposed to a lot of things.
Okay, thank you.
Financial reports.
Okay, starting with corporation funds reconciliation. Funds on hand at Hartford Career Center in the financial system on October 1st. The balance was $1,706,009. During the month, receipts totaling $186,088.76. Disbursements during the month of $195,897.96 for a month ending financial system October 31st balance of $1,696,199.80. The depository reconciliation total funds on hand at Crossroads Bank on October 1st, $1,707,999.80. $705.62. Cleared deposits and credits in the amount of $186,088.76. Cleared checks and other debits in the amount of $194,085.88 for a month ending depository balance at Crossroads Bank on October 31st, $1,699,708.50. As of the end of the month of October, there are 7 outstanding checks totaling $3,508.70. Moving to the ECA accounts, on October 1st, the bank balance was $107,420.55. Deposits and credits during the month, $3,717.24. Checks and other debits during the month, $2,060.72. For a month ending bank account balance at Crossroads of $109,077.07. As of month end, there are 7 outstanding checks for $1,405.47. Actually, I basically just read off page 1 of the bank statement, so it would be up to like 2 or 3 more pages. Yeah, if you look at the bank statement.
So.
ECA statement?
ECA statement,
Yes.
sorry.
So basically, I just read all that. That was where the initials and signatures are.
Right there.
Moving on to payrolls. We had 2 during this period since the last board meeting. October 24th, the payroll amount was $58,592.97. And then on November 7th, another payroll cycle, and this was the one where we caught everybody up on negotiations, retroactive all the way to the beginning of the contract period. So that payroll was a little bit bigger, $62,091.65, for a total of $120,684.62 that I have payroll claims over here for signatures. I also have the bank reconciliations for signatures. I've got the minutes over here. And then the last thing is the accounts payable docket. The total for the period of October 16th through today, November 19th, was $222,374.32. Now I've got 6 items here just to point out. Check number 13476 was for an amount of $975. That is to a company by the name of All Data, and that is for materials relating to our auto service group. That's his CPF expenditure for the 25-26 school year. Check number 13481 in the amount of $4,902.40 to Amazon. That's part of the Amazon check. This particular transaction is the culinary department's CPF expenditure for 25-26. Check number 13483 is $67,200, and that is to ABC Construction that we were just talking about.
So now, just real quick, I just want to explain to you guys that earlier in the year, we talked about that and how much it was gonna cost, okay? In the budget, we put 24,000, all right, but I explained with that is the offset from the CT funding we received for that program, okay? Because that CT funding would pay for the program, and then there would be an extra cost of roughly $700 a kid, is what I said, okay? Now, that being said, just so you were aware, we had 22 kids in there. The extra amount that we used is $12,885. So I projected 24,000 as a worst case scenario. We only used $12,885. All right, so will be a little bit of money left over on that. So just to give you a heads up. So it looks like a big number, but we got to remember the CT funding for that program was like 58,000, a little over 58,000. We received, and then we paid the difference. Maybe it was 56,000, I can't remember, but I can look it up too. Anyway, that gives you an idea.
The next item of interest, check number 13486, for $23,855. That is our annual subscription and support fee to Voice Financial. That's who we have our finance system through. So that's through subscription and support through December 31st, 2026. The next item, check number 13493, is for $11,000. This is a every 9 weeks expenditure that we have for the Honeywell program down at Eagles. So it's four 9-week periods at $11,000 each. It basically pays for our instructor and the state-of-the-art lab that they have. Check number 13496 for $5,663.28. This is to Jake Miller, who's our electronics instructor. These are training modules and subscriptions, electronic subscriptions that they're getting. I don't know if you want to mention
It's
anything.
more about, I don't know necessarily their electronic subscriptions, but the motor controls, so they do motor controls back there. And so he bought some items to help with that motor control instruction. And so if you remember back when we hired him, his ordeal was, pay me $1, the rest of my salary will go to the classroom. And so that's kind of what part of this is for, is to cover some of those costs. Because he's brought in a few different things. He brought in a few things I couldn't even explain. But he did buy, we have a motor control unit back there, it was 3.8X. I think Vincent's purchased it for us, and he bought some units to go alongside that can work with it, but also can be used off to the side where students can kind of be creative and create their own. And so he did that, and so that's what part of that is for.
So that brings me to the end there. If you have any questions, before you leave, be sure to come over here and sign documentation. Support documentation for any of those tables is here in the basket if you have to dig out and help you with whatever.
Back to the ABC construction on 67.
Yep.
Is that just a one-time deal, or how many times do you?
That's it depends on, it's per kid. And so there's an amount per kid that we pay, and then that's every year.
That's a
And so, but that pays for an instructor and anything that they bring on site. If they bring materials, they bring equipment, it's all theirs. And so you're paying a fee to use them and their equipment and materials. We literally have provided nothing else to the students. At one time a year, yep. And so they go by the count day numbers. However many kids were there on count day, that's what they get paid for.
Okay.
That was their big, they wanted that money before.
Well, I tried to talk them into moving it back to January. And I know count days here, we want that. And I said, well, you're gonna have to wait until after our November board meeting, at least. So,
When's that?
what's that?
When's the board meeting?
This-
Because we prefer to get more.
Yeah, you seconded the motion.
Everybody wants their money.
If there's no more questions, do we have a motion to approve all these reports?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Personnel,
I don't know why I have that on there. I'm sorry. There's no personnel.
donations, thank you, Mr. Higgins.
We have one from Mike Herring. This is an individual that's supplied welding rods for us before. His wife came in and said, hey, I got more welding rods for you. And so he works for Miller Pipeline, and again, once they break the seal on those things, they're not allowed to use them. So Jack got another box full of welding rods, which is phenomenal. I mean, we will definitely use it. And I will say, just props to him, if you get a chance, tonight before you leave, we'll walk you down to the welding lab. He's got all the kids, they did sculptures and all sorts of projects, really some pretty cool stuff.
Cool.
So we'd love to have you go down. He's actually gonna have parents come in on Friday night and let their kids show off their work, which is phenomenal.
It's pretty impressive. You'll be, I've seen some of the projects pass. These are by far the best ones that we've had since I've been here. I've been here 3 years. John's been here how long?
11 years, and I said it was the best I've seen.
So,
I mean, it really is.
They're
Top
pretty
line.
good.
Facility usage, FFA regional welding competition.
So you guys received an email from me on this. I needed to kind of let them know quicker so that they could kind of move forward with this. But Jim Woldermuth, who is an instructor at North Miami, is part of FFA. And they have a welding contest that they offer. The other facility they were going to have it at could not do it. And so he reached out to our instructor and I, and Mr. Higgins, I think, and asked us if we'd be willing to host. And in all reality, we have a great facility for it. We have 20 welding stations that are multi-welding stations. They can do stick, MIG, or TIG, and it's like, and so I wanted to ask you guys about doing that. You guys kind of agreed, but I wanted to bring it here to kind of have a formal approval process. Through that, I've asked them to provide me a certificate of liability insurance, which they have. And then I've also talked to them about cost. For me, it wasn't about charging them to rent the facility, because I think it's a good opportunity for those kids to see what we have, and it may interest more kids to be here, and promote our program. And so, but it was more about the materials, and so what does that look like? And he broke down what they're gonna offer, for that. They're gonna bring their own welding rods. They'll pay us for, gas used when they go through their welding. And so they provided that as well. They're gonna say, give us money for contact tips, gas diffusers, MIG wire, and so on, to cover all the costs that they use. Talking to Mr. Holly, because the amount of material from the MIG or TIG, the wire they use, is not much. And so he's like, it's gonna be very little in the end. And so I bring that to you to kind of prove that's December 2nd at 6 p.m. They're gonna be here, and I think they said they're gonna have roughly, if I remember right, roughly 60 students kind of go through at different times, kind of rotate. Oh, man, it's a regional FFA competition, so it's several schools. And so it says 18 schools, so 6 of those schools are part of our recruitment. So it'll be a good thing. Mr. Holly will be here, we'll have a custodian on site. They will literally come in on the far end and walk straight into his lab. They'll use his lab as classroom, and they will not be on this end. If they gotta go to the bathroom, we're gonna, they'll come down here, but other than that, that's
What time of day is it?
6 p.m. on December 2nd.
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah.
So we need a motion for that?
I would like to
Just
do an
make-
approval, yeah, if you don't mind.
I would make a motion to approve.
I second the motion.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Inventory for sale, nothing?
Yes, there's a link. Mr. Higgins and I, mainly Mr. Higgins, I'm not gonna say I at all, he did this, and we have some equipment, that we have to get rid of. And the reason for that is our machining lab, Vincent's University, we've been working with them, and they have graciously donated $150,000 in equipment. And if you don't know about Vincent's with Heartland Career Center, they have done a lot for us. And so, not just in that program, but every other program. But this is a big piece of this. So when Mr. Slaughter came on, that was an Ivy Tech program. Ivy Tech is great for offering dual credits for our kids. But when it comes to supporting the program in other ways, Vincennes supports your program. And they provided equipment, they've metal lathes, metal grinders, mill heads, surface grinder, and so they were three surface grinders? And how many regular grinders? Four?
There's 4 new grinders.
Yeah, and they're gonna also provide a dust collecting system for the grinders.
3 drill presses,
3 drill presses,
3 lathes, I think.
and 3 mill heads. And so, it's a lot of money, but for that program, it's what they need and have to have. And as you can see, these are 2 of the lathes that we are going to remove from the lab, and they are pretty old.
Yeah, the Pratt Whitney on the left is a good old lathe. It's a big
It's a monster.
lathe. And it's been there a long time. It's just tired. The other one on the right is a Polish lathe that honestly isn't tagged, so really, we don't have to have your permission, but on the other side, I wanted you to be aware that we're shopping this out, to get it gone. We've sold stuff through Metzger's in the past. We took about a 30% hit on those last time, and it's a pain in the butt to haul it up there, and maybe you get money, maybe not, whatever. So we talked, Brian Evans, he's on our staff, and he and I talked a little bit. We think we're just, with your permission, we'd like to just ask that we auction with a sealed bid on our own website, and push that a little bit, and just do it that way. I know we've got some kids that are interested. Actually, we talked to another, since Vincent's placed this stuff, I asked Jennifer, is there anybody you know? And so we ended up calling Grant County, because they are behind us in starting their machine program, and she said they might be interested. We talked to their director, and they're not interested, so that's, and I figured all we can do is offer. And so, but we gave them that opportunity. Couple other things on there too. We've got some other small stuff that we're probably gonna shop out, but you guys have already approved that disposal. The other two are two big vertical metal door cabinets that we will tag, but we will dispose of those as well. So we'll probably have 6, 8, 10 things that will be on there that will be sold. Those are the big ones though.
Need a motion for that, or?
Yes.
I would move to approve as presented.
I second the motion. We moved to second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay.
So this is just an update for you guys. Oak Hill has been a school that's sent kids here, and it's, I don't want to say sporadic, but the number changes each year. One, it deals with, depending on what kind of openings we have. And so like this year, we only have 4 kids in Oak Hill. Last year, we had 12, I think. You know, my first year here, we had, I think it was almost 20, which is probably the most we've had in a while. You know, they're expanding their program over Grant County, which is where they're actually supposed to be. But we've offered those programs here for them. And I got the message just the other day from their superintendent that due to cost for transportation and everything like that, they're no longer gonna send kids over here. And I understand that. You're sending 4 kids and you're driving a big bus. That's expensive. And so, but I did talk to her and say, hey, here's you know, if that's a situation, that's fine, I understand that. But if you have kids that wanna come here for programs that we offer that they don't offer, and we have openings, we're more than willing to have them come here. And if you're okay with them driving, we're okay with that as well. And so she said that we appreciate that. And it could be something that happens. I don't know that it will. You know, and so, like they had a tour coming up and they canceled the tour because they didn't want to provide the transportation. Completely understand. And so I'm just making you aware of the situation, so that you know that they will no longer.
It's a nice option, so if they want, students want to drive themselves.
Yeah, I figured why not. So that's that.
Anything else from gallery?
Gallery has one other item, and that is the roof project went well. I believe we need to put together a proposal for the next phase, and let's sell it. Let's do the next phase.
Okay, I think that for us to do that, I think it would be a good idea to maybe have a work session, I would say, for the board. Because I think that would be the best option to do that.
Sure.
And then we can also have superintendents involved.
That is
If you're okay with that.
idea.
And they may want to bring their business managers, their CFOs.
Sure.
And
I think
so-
that's an incredibly good idea. I really think, I know we've experienced just the generosity of the community in North Manchester to build this. You know, Jody Sarp, one of the teachers there, initiated this drive to build this basically pavilion for cross-country runners, and it went out and raised about $200,000. So I believe the interest is there. It's been shown by different organizations and individuals that have contributed various items. And I hear all the time, well, we can't do that because what? We can't do that. I want people that say we can do that, and we will do that. So there you go.
Would you work that in starting in January?
That would be great. I personally have no problem with Saturday morning, or, you know, if that
work.
Yeah, and I'm willing to do whatever, I mean, I think it's a matter of trying to find that one time that everybody's available.
Exactly, exactly.
So, it may be, it probably would work best in an evening.
Could we tack it on to this meeting?
You probably could, I think you could do a regular board meeting and then do a work session afterwards. Yeah, I think it's very possible.
Because we already have our Wednesdays carved out.
Yeah.
Just be the
Right.
Superintendent.
Right.
I think we have a conflict with that, our superintendent. I think she has a meeting
Wednesday
on
nights.
Heartland nights and Fort Wayne, so.
Okay.
We can, okay,
And I would like her to be present.
that's
Yeah, I
fine.
mean,
Sure,
she deals more with.
Yeah.
We can get several.
Yeah, I can send out,
Yeah,
yeah.
Program that I
yeah.
participate in, well, you know,
I
here
can
are the
send out a
various
poll.
dates
Yeah.
and then they correlate.
I can send out a poll.
Superintendents went to that meeting?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Never mind.
They may, I don't know. So, but I can send out a poll, doodle poll.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know.
And it'll have a bunch of dates and times, and you click on which ones are available, and they'll kind of, it'll tally it up, and everybody does that, and then in the end, they'll say, this is the most common day for everybody, and we'll go with that.
That's good.
So, I can work on doing that, I'll send that out, I can probably work on sending it out here pretty soon. So, yep. Shouldn't be a problem.
If there's nothing else, is there a motion to adjourn?
That's so me, so moved.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
And I would, again, invite you back to open up Jack's Lab if you want to see it.
Yeah.
Do that, absolutely, but let's sign
Yeah,
Darcy's.
you guys sign
document.
it more, and then I'll open things up, you can come see me when you're done, Darcy.
Hey, let's turn that thing off.
Jake's
all over me. She's like,
This is.
Come on.
We don't move until that thing's off.
I don't have other people